Okay guys, picking the correct niche could literally be a make or break decision for your business. And with all of the contradicting information out there, it's no wonder you probably feel a little bit overwhelmed. And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find the most profitable niche for you personally without any guesswork. And guys, this is the exact system which I've used personally to build multiple Etsy businesses that have made me well over $300,000 on the platform over the last few years. And because I love you all so much, guys, at the end of this video, I'm even just going to straight up tell you some very profitable niches that I think are going to absolutely explode going into 2026 if you just wanted it done for you. But in order to find your own profitable niche, let's start with the first step you need to do. And this is to always start with demand rather than passion. And so guys, I see most people out there, they start by asking themselves the question, what do I love? But because this strategy is based on data-driven decisions, we're instead going to ask ourselves, what is in demand? So look guys, just because we personally love something, all right, doesn't mean that if we put months of our time into creating businesses or a strong business in that niche, that it is going to be successful, okay? If there is no demand there for that business, no matter how much we love it and we think about it going to bed, we will really struggle to make sales with it. And so to check that there is a good level of demand for whatever niche it is you're thinking of starting, I want you to just first head to the Etsy marketplace section and just search in for any product type that you're thinking of starting a business model in. Then guys, instead of searching for individual bestseller listings, which, I see a lot of people doing out there, I instead want you to look at top performing shops. And I want you to start getting into the habit when you're selecting your niches of studying shops instead of individual listings, because we want a top performing shop, not just a single top performing listing. And I'll tell you now guys, if you make a solid effort to study over 50 shops that have made over 3,000 sales in the last 2 years, okay, it will become very obvious to you some niches that are really doing well on Etsy over the last few years. And you're just going to get so many ideas for niches that have got proven demand in that you can start jotting down on a piece of paper and start to build your business around. And then guys, I want you to move on to the next point here, which is to start narrowing down your customer buyer profile. And so look, there's always going to be some exceptions out there to this rule, right? But the majority of shops out there that have done very well over the last few years, they sell to just say 1, 2, maximum 3 different audience profiles rather than trying to just sell everything to absolutely everybody. And so a much more narrow niche, guys, okay, will lead to an increased average order value and an increased return customer rate. Because just think about it logically, right? When a customer goes onto your shop, you want them to be able to buy more than one product, and you want them to be able to buy the product, be happy with it, and then come back to buy more of that product again in the future and keep that revolving wheel spinning, okay? However, if you sold, random bits here and there, and somebody, they liked one of your products, they went onto your shop expecting to see more of those types of products and everything else is just completely random, fine. You might get that one sale, but you can bet you're not going to get many other sales, and they're probably not going to come back because there's nothing else that they want. And to scale a business long term, you want to do that based on a high average order value and a high returning customer rate. And so guys, you could take a very broad product, right? And then you could start to build the whole business just around that product and then hitting niches for a certain product type. And so for example, your business could be watercolor clip art for crafters, okay? And then within that watercolor clip art for crafters business model, you could niche down to do, a lot of floral designs or designs that are more suited to people, I don't know, that are making, say, wedding arrangements, right? Or like birthday cards, for example, So you can take that top level business model and then you can do sub niches within that business model. And that is a really strong way to go. But of course, all of this is going to be a lot harder for you guys if you don't do this next point, and that is to match your niche to your strengths. And so this is one of the most key things that I need you to understand, guys, okay? And this is that the niche you choose will only ever be successful if you can continuously and consistently work on your business and make products within that niche. Because, as we all know, consistency over the long term leads to long-term results. And so I've got a few questions written down here, guys, which I always want you to ask yourself, okay? First one, do I enjoy making these products for these audiences? And number two, does it match my skill set and my creative brain? And I'll use myself as an example for this one here, guys. I don't mind doing that. I've got ADHD, and so I always need to be doing like something new, right? That's just the way that my brain works. Any of you out there with ADHD, you can probably sympathize with me, okay? It's always like, here, there, and everywhere. And so a business model for me, for example, is making clip art. I love to make clip art because I go on my laptop every day. I'm doing something new. It's, it's always a new challenge. I'm always doing something different. So for me, that works really well with my creative brain. And so I could just choose niches within that business model that suit me well. And then final question to ask yourself, guys, okay? Can I see myself creating over 300 products within this business model and within these niches? And if you have answered yes to all of those questions, or the niche and the business that you've got in your mind, then you might have just found your perfect business. But even if something does end up being your perfect business and your perfect niche, we still need to do this next thing correctly, and that is to check the competition, but check the competition the right way. And so look, guys, I want to tell you a really nice little story here, okay? And it's why we shouldn't fear competition too much. So just over a year ago, I made a YouTube video where I started a shop selling print-on-demand mugs in what is probably the most saturated niche and business model on Etsy. And I wanted to do it to prove to you guys that if you do things correctly, you can make a lot of money in no matter what niche that you choose, okay? Well, that very business in the last 30 days has made me well over $10,000, and it predominantly only sells to a UK audience, okay? So that is just such proof there, guys. I literally made this shop to prove to you that it can be done and that anybody can do it. And so as long as you do things better than the competition, sometimes a lot of competition can actually just be a really good sign that there is also a lot of demand for that product and for that niche. And so again, I've got another few questions written down, guys, that I want you to ask yourself here, okay? I want you to look at the competition that's on Etsy and just ask, do the majority of listings that are showing up on the first few pages of Etsy for this product type in this niche, do they all look very similar? And if so, is there any areas that I can do differently to make a product in this niche and really stand out? And then also, is the niche full of low quality products that are making a lot of sales? Because you better bet, guys, that if there's low quality products that say have been around on Etsy for a few years or whatever, they got a good sales ranking, eventually they are going to be replaced and they are going to be toppled by newer high quality products. And if you're the owner of those newer high quality products, then you will get that share of the market. That is Etsy as a business model. They just want to make sales and sell the best possible products to customers. So again, don't be too put off by competition, guys. Sometimes it can actually be a good thing. And then the next thing, guys, very key thing that you need to do, and this is to validate your ideas with data, not guesswork. And so once you start jotting down a few different niches, a few different ideas, a few different business ideas and product ideas, right? It then comes time to validate. And so before you start committing the next few months to building your business up, okay, you need to know that any time that you put into the business, it's going to be worthwhile for you. And so this is something that I personally do, okay? And I do recommend it, but I know it's not for everyone, okay? What I personally do is jump onto a research app. The one that I use is Everbee. And the first thing I always do, guys, is find shops that are performing well in my niche, look at their stats on Etsy, go to their listings and look at what listings are performing well for them. So say, for example, if I look at a really popular clip art shop, I'll look at their top performing clip art listings, and then you'll start to notice patterns when you do this enough times of what listings start to perform well. For example, I did this exact activity and I noticed that there was a lot of individual dragon clip art packs that were selling really well. So first thing I did, I went away, I built a ton of different dragon clip art packs, and then I made a mega bundle of dragon clip art because I wanted to make sure that I had the best product in that niche area on Etsy. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And now that individual digital product is making me some pretty good money, to be honest. And then another thing that's really good, which I always do as well, is I'll just start searching on Etsy for a few different shops, again, within that niche, within those business models. And I'll just look at the stats that that shop is making. So, the monthly sales, the total revenues, how long they've been open and active, you know, that sort of information, which Everbee just presents to you as an overlay really nicely. It's very easily digestible information. And if you find a decent amount of shops within your niche that are making 500 plus sales per month, then again, to me, that is pretty good validation that you might have stumbled across a good niche that you can really make some money in. And guys, honestly, like I said, use whatever research app you want. I strongly recommend Everbee. I always use them. I love their product and niche research features. So if you want to check them out, guys, as always, you can check them out completely for free. And there's a link in the video description. And so then guys, once you've started getting a few rough ideas of your niches, okay, and you're ready to start going to work, it then comes time to start building out your product variations within your business. And so guys, always remember as well, right? Your niche is only going to become extremely profitable once you start to scale and expand within that niche. And something which I've had to learn myself as well, and that is consistency will always beat perfection, okay? It just does, guys, okay? And the niche builds the foundation for your business, but it's the products you make in your catalog that will always drive the sales. And so, like I said before, right, if say, for example, when I went away tomorrow and I started a watercolor clip art style shop, making clip art for crafters, what I would then want to do is pick out, say, 1, 2, maybe 3 different niches within that business model and within that style that I really start to specialize in. So one of them could be watercolor style floral clip art, for example. Another one could be, say, watercolor birthday celebration style clip art. Okay. And suddenly then you start to add those sub niches together within that business model. And as long as you do everything in the same style and you make it all look really nice and cohesive, you've then got good branding and you can sell a majority of those products to the same customer and to the same audience profile. And then suddenly you can become one of the go-to shops for a certain style of clip art and for different niches of clip art as well. And also guys, I just want to say as well, to take a bit of pressure off you, okay, always just remember that the niche and even the business model that you start off with on Etsy, okay, it doesn't have to be set in stone. If it doesn't work for you, you can always change, you can always pivot a little bit further down the line, okay? So just take some of the pressure off, all right? And to make things even easier for you guys, okay, for this video, I did a lot of research and I've compiled a bit of a list here on my laptop of some niches which I think are gonna do very well going into 2026. So feel free to start with any of these guys if you don't wanna do the work yourself. First one, minimalist business templates, okay? These nowadays can be made very easily using AI. There is a ton of tutorials out there. I think that could be a really good product going into 2026. Also, different clip art styles in micro niches, such as the example I just gave, watercolor clip art in the floral niche. You can build a whole business around this, guys. Honestly, there is that much demand for it. Then another one I think is going to be really good, journals or pretty much any digital product related to mental health. I think that the stats have shown that's going to be, again, a very big one going into 2026. Next one I got here on my list, small business creator kits. So many people, because of the online world now, they're starting their own online businesses. So this could be things like social media templates, invoice templates, client onboarding templates, pricing calculators, you know, let your imagination run free. There is a ton of products within this area that you could do. I think that's going to be a great niche. Educational printables and educational resources for kids. Again, year on year, this is also very, very good. And then health and fitness trackers for sports, but for sports that are gaining in popularity. So for example, high rocks or running, okay? Not just any old random sports that are trending and rising in popularity. And guys, look, I know there is going to be some of you out there that even after watching this whole video, okay, you've still got some questions on exactly how to build a profitable niche. So I've made things even easier for you guys, okay? And I've put together a whole step-by-step training of exactly how I find my niches right from start to finish. And this whole training, guys, is available within my Etsy Accelerator community, along with all of my other step-by-step training modules. And obviously, because it's a community, guys, we also keep you completely up to date with any rising trends, as soon as they start to happen. We are very on the ball with this. And literally the whole community is just designed to take all of the guesswork out of anything that you do and deliver you a proven step-by-step system that you can follow along with, that is proven to make money online. We've got members now making really, really good money, like seriously good money on here, guys. It is not a joke. I've poured my personal heart and soul into this. And so if you're ready to start making some real money online going into 2026, then as always, link in the video description to check the community out. And if you wanted just a free step-by-step tutorial on exactly how to make digital products to sell online going into 2026, then I recommend you check out this video here, completely for free on YouTube. I think it really helped. Otherwise, I love you all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, guys.